We can sell blood and semen.
Car.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Hey, this is another video by suggestion. People I wanted to know about some things here, things that when they get here they might not expect. And there are some things. Certainly not, this is not the only country that has those things, but they are here. And some of these things are really, really awesome. And I don't know why we don't use them more in the West. And some things are not. And this is going to apply to people who maybe this is their first time coming to Cambodia. And it's also going to apply for those of you who are coming here to retire. Some things you should know and be aware of. Just so you have that knowledge. And of course, first I want to remind you that I have books for sale. Check out the books you see on your screen. There's a link down below where you can purchase them. And speaking of that, I am going to take this opportunity to give myself a little pat on the back, do a little dance of joy, and I'm going to tell you why. And if you don't want to hear about it, that's too bad. Fast forward. I'm going to brag a little bit here. Most of you don't know who Stephanie Ellis is. If you're not into the same kind of books I am, there's no reason why you should know who she is. But she is the best-selling author of my two favorite folk horror novels. Folk horror is one of my favorite subgenres, and whenever anybody asks me for recommendations for folk horror, her two books are at the very top of my list. I've talked about them on my other channel, Horror Reads. And those books are The 5 Turns of the Wheel and Reborn. And if you want to check those out, go to Amazon and look them up. I recommend them. Highly recommend them. But the reason I'm mentioning her is because, oh my goodness, she took the time to buy my latest anthology, Monsters. She read it, and then she sent out this public tweet about my book. That is just awesome. That she not only bought it, but she took the time to read it, and then took the time to publicly tweet about it and recommend it to other people.
Oh, those are the new ones?
Yes! 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 Hey, yeah!
One of my favorite authors. That is just, that blew me away. That put a smile on my black little soul. So yeah, big shout out to her. Follow her advice. Click the link in the below and pick it up. I'd be very happy if you did. And of course, if you want to help support the channel, we always appreciate that. We're looking for 250 US dollars for this month. So if you want to help us get to that goal, there are links down below for PayPal or Ko-Fi.com. And it is always, always very much appreciated. Seng Lai has got something going on. I don't want to say too much right now. It's not really a secret, but until these things are finalized, of course, I don't want to say too much. But, and we could use your support.
We can sell blood and semen.
Car.
And you'll get something pretty awesome in return. So, consider clicking those links below and helping to support the channel. We do appreciate it. And I believe Kelly from Autumn in Asia, he is doing a live stream tomorrow, or Tuesday. I'm not sure what day it is today. Is it Sunday or Monday? I don't know. But on Tuesday, he plans on doing a live stream. I'll be there behind the scenes helping to moderate. And so be sure to subscribe to his channel and come join us so you can ask us questions, if you want to. All right. So, I'm going to start by telling you these things about Cambodia. And it's about a room nobody ever really likes to talk about, and that's the bathroom. The majority of apartments here do not have bathtubs or separate showers in the bathroom. It's just a shower head sticking out of a wall sometimes, or attached to a hose, for the majority of the apartments here. And when you take a shower, because there's no curtain, there's no separate place to stand, your whole bathroom floor will get wet. There's a drain in the floor. The water will go down there. But of course that means, you know, until it dries off, your bathroom floor is going to be very wet. That's one of the things I didn't think about when I first moved here. That's why I'm mentioning it. It was just kind of weird to me because I was used to hopping in my bathtub, turning on the shower in there, and, you know, leaving the floor, the rest of the floor dry because I had a shower curtain. But here you don't get that kind of thing. I look at it like this: you're cleaning yourself and you're cleaning your bathroom at the same time. So it's not, I don't consider that a bad thing. But I just thought that was kind of weird when I first got here. Like, am I supposed to take a shower? I'm going to get water everywhere. But I guess that's the point, or that's the way it is. But the thing in the bathroom I want to talk about the most is the bum gun. In case you don't know what that is, in Cambodia you don't flush things down the toilet. That includes toilet paper. Not a big use for toilet paper here. You have what's called a bum gun. After you're done in the bathroom and you're doing your nasty business, you don't wipe. You take this sprayer with a hose, you aim it at your pooper, and it shoots a nice, refreshing, strong spray of water to get all the nasty bits off, you know. And that's how you clean yourself. Then you can either, you know, pat yourself off with a towel or just run around bottomless drip drying. Whatever you prefer. Now, I'm gonna say this about the bum gun: that might be man's greatest invention. I don't understand why it's not more widespread in the West. If I ever go back to where I came from, that is one thing I will absolutely miss, because for my whole life I've been told to take these little thin strips of paper using my hand and wiping away after I'm done with a good old bowel movement. And that doesn't sound sanitary at all now, you know. And the bum guns are great. And a word of advice: before you rent an apartment, you're going through, you're looking at things, checking things out, always check how powerful that bum gun is. There is nothing worse, I'm telling you, than trying to use one of those and in a very weak spray. That's just not a good situation. You want one that's powerful, that has a great flow to it. One that'll be like a power washer, man, knocking paint off a wall. That'll get your bum and your tushy all nice and clean. And yeah, you should definitely, I think the West should definitely utilize that more. I think it's something that should be way more common than what it is. And I think it's the greatest invention ever. But this is how you get that thing done when you're here in Cambodia. Now, this also goes into another question someone had about getting older here. Are there access to wheelchair ramps, social programs to take care of you financially, you know, retirement homes and things like that? So this is something for you retirees to consider.
Everything hurts.
The answer to all three of those is, if you're a foreigner, no. To put it bluntly. And even if you're a local, if you have mobility issues, if you're in a wheelchair or can't get around that good, can't walk that great, it's going to be very difficult to navigate. Because for the majority of the country, you will not see wheelchair ramps, wheelchair lifts, modified vehicles that can get you in and out of a van or something with a wheelchair. It's significantly more difficult to get around if you have those kind of issues here, because it's just not The infrastructure is not made for that kind of thing. And I've said this in other videos, one reason why you might not want to move to Cambodia is if you have mobility issues, to the extent where you won't be able to move around very well. You can always hire a car, or always hop in a tuk-tuk. You don't have to walk everywhere like I do. But still, getting, if you're in a wheelchair and you still got to get into a building, like let's say here, the steps, there's no ramp. It's going to take some effort to get you where you need to go. Now, as far as community programs like welfare, that kind of type program, foreigners, no, there's nothing here for you unless you're getting it from your home country. If you're getting it from your home country, then take what you can get, but nothing for foreigners here. I know there are social programs here for locals that meet certain physical and financial requirements. I don't know what they are. I've never looked into it. But I'm aware that there are some programs that will help out somewhat for food and rent for those who have certain ailments and mental conditions. But as a foreigner, no. You won't get any of that. Now, as far as retirement homes go, again, the answer is no. You don't see, I can't recall ever seeing a retirement home here. I don't know if Cambodia has them. But that's explainable because it's a very family-oriented country. And it is accepted and known that you will take care of your older citizens. The families will take care of them when they can no longer work or take care of themselves. It is very common here to find 6 people living in a small, $50 a month apartment, because you got the grandchildren, maybe the great-grandchildren, then you got the children, then you got the grandparents, the great-grandparents. You just got the whole family living there because it's their obligation to do that. And so there's not really a need for retirement homes here. They really do believe in taking care of their family. They're very family-oriented. And so you're not going to find those things here. So I would suggest that if you're coming over here and you're going to be at that age at some point, hook yourself up with somebody local, and hopefully they'll extend that same courtesy to you. But other than that, if you're a foreigner here, you don't have access to social programs or anything like that. And it's just something to consider and think about before you come here. Just to make sure you're ready for that, or you have people back home that you can make arrangements with, or talk to if you need to, or get help from if you need it, and that kind of thing. And let's talk about weddings and funerals. They are a big deal here. They last for 3 or 4 days. And you're going to hear them if they're in your neighborhood or in your general area, because there's going to be loud music and chanting throughout the day and into the night, starting at early in the morning, sometimes going late into the night. They are very significant events here, and they are performed for several days, and they can get noisy. But that's something you really do get used to. You can't really fault them. Weddings are cause to celebrate, a funeral's a cause to mourn. People, there's nothing wrong with people doing that kind of thing. And whenever somebody complains, of course, it's always pointed out to them that don't live in Cambodia, because this is how they celebrate those things. It's annoying to you because you're not used to it from the West, but just the way it is here, if you know what I mean. And one more thing I do want to talk about, I don't care if you have a $2,000 a month villa or a $30 a month apartment, you are going to get bugs here. I can't tell you the amount of posts where people complain about ants, especially. You know, how can I stop them from getting in? Does anybody have any suggestions for an exterminator? I'm like, it's not going to matter. You are going to have bugs here. I'm a bug guy, so this is a positive for me. Of course, I don't want them crawling all over my walls and floors and over me when I'm trying to sleep at night. But for the most part, I like bugs and insects. They're my jam, man. But yeah, that's just something you're going to have to get used to. There are ants going to be everywhere. You let a grain of rice that you forget to sweep up off the counter or off the floor, you go back in a couple hours, you're just going to have a whole trail of ants coming from different directions trying to trying to drag that little piece of rice back to their little lair. You know, it's just going to happen. And no matter what people say about these all natural solutions that's guaranteed to keep the ants away, you know, put a little vinegar in with some lemon juice and spray it around. No, that's nothing to them. That's like trying to throw feathers at a rock fight. You're going to lose. And you are just going to have to get used to the bugs. Yeah, especially the ants, I'm telling you. You might not see them all the time, but they are there. And they're waiting for you to drop something to make their presence known. Of course, you can sweep them up and scrub the area where they came in. That's the best way because it gets rid of their pheromones. So more ants from their colony don't try to follow it in to the food source. But that's about the only way I know to actually stave them off, and even that's only a temporary measure because they're going to come back. So you're going to have to deal with bugs. And if you just accept that, treat it like part of the adventure, you'll be all right. I mean, we get big old giant millipedes, we get big old huntsman spiders, we get all kinds of beetles, and of course all the ants. And it doesn't bother me. I like taking pictures of them, posting them on my Bug Life Facebook page. That's what I do with them. And then I pick them up and put them outside. Because they don't belong inside my apartment, but I don't hate them because they're there. Let's put it that way. Alright, so I hope that video helped. Maybe helped to answer some questions. Tell me what you think in a comment below. Be sure to check out all my links down below. Check out the links for other channels vlogging in this part of the world. They are all down below. My other channel is down below. My book links are down below. My PayPal and Ko-Fi are down below. Check them all out. And from Siem Reap, Cambodia, I will talk to you guys in the next one.